Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a genuinely fascinating framework drawn from our source text today. It's an Ascension Model that connects the incredibly intimate scale of our personal joy right up to the ultimate heights of corporate success. Seriously, it maps out how our individual relationships and everyday emotions are literally the foundational building blocks for macroeconomic leadership. So if you've ever wondered how finding the right life partner actually connects to running a culturally impactful business, well, you are definitely in the right place. Let's get into it.
Here is our roadmap for the explainer. We'll be hitting 1. Modern youth stating dilemma. 2. Why past methods failed. 3. Evolution from fun to happiness. 4. Dimensional energy laws. And 5. Conditions for true business. This is going to guide us all the way from the intimate scale of marriage up to metaphysical energy and macroeconomics.
Section 1, Modern Youth Dating Dilemma, Finding Shared Direction. Let's start with a really relatable baseline of human connection.
Okay, let's dive into this. We live in a digital age, right? Everyone has these hyper-specific tastes and lifestyle preferences. And the source points out that a lot of young people really struggle because of this. Sure, they might initially connect through physical attraction or, shared hobbies, but they often fail to establish a shared overarching life direction. They start out liking each other, but as time passes, their underlying standards and their actual life goals start to diverge. This inevitably leads to conflict and separation, mainly because they just lack a shared philosophy. This brilliantly illustrates the core of the problem. Think about past marriages. They were heavily focused on survival, duty, and these conditional alliances between families. But today, present marriages are focused on individual happiness and self-direction. Now, obviously, this shift toward personal fulfillment is a positive thing, but it creates entirely new challenges because when two self-directed individuals haven't actually aligned at their core philosophical directions, the relationship just becomes totally unmoored. Section 2. Why past methods failed. The missing philosophy. To really understand this unmoored feeling, we have to look back at the historical context. Let's walk through this timeline. About 30 years ago, matchmaking for prominent families was heavily managed by spiritual leaders. We're talking everyone from figures in temples and churches to shamans. People would consult them to see if a match would be prosperous. But by the millennium, this system completely began to break down. Matches made by these traditional figures were failing left and right, resulting in unhappy homes. Which brings us to today, where we're left with self-directed marriages that honestly completely lack that philosophical grounding. So why did it fail? Well, the source argues that these past systems collapsed because they relied on arbitrary fortunes. Think reading destinies or saju, right? They did that instead of actually evaluating if the partners had the philosophical qualifications for a shared life. Old matchmakers essentially treated marriage like a corporate merger. They'd look at family backgrounds like, oh, let's pair a business family with an academic family for mutual benefit, instead of making sure the couple shared a unified life direction.
Section 3, Evolution, from fun to happiness. So if the old way is broken, what is the right way?
Let's move to this and see how it builds. The text introduces this fascinating philosophical framework for emotional evolution. It's a strict sequential progression of positive emotions. Stage 1 is liking. That's just basic physical attraction. From there, it absolutely must evolve into fun or enjoyment. Then it deepens into joy or delight, and finally, it culminates in true happiness. A huge takeaway here is that the text asserts many people mistake liking someone or just having a good time for true happiness, and that's exactly what stalls their personal and collective growth.
It is absolutely vital to understand how the source defines these steps, especially that second one. Because fun isn't just mindless entertainment here. It's not just going out and spending money. It is strictly defined as the energetic result of benefiting the people around you. When you act in a way that helps others and you actually see their lives improve because of what you did, that resulting positive energy you feel, that is true fun. It requires an outward focus.
Section 4, Dimensional Energy Laws, the Metaphysics of Emotion. Now we pivot from personal emotion into the metaphysical laws governing these feelings.
Referencing ancient philosophies like the Chunbugyang, the text outlines how human life actually transitions through dimensions. It posits that baseline animalistic survival happens in the lower dimensions, but human life, true physical existence, operates in the 6th dimension. From there, as we evolve our emotions like we just talked about, we tap into 7th, 8th, and 9th dimensional quantum, non-material energy flows. And to be clear, these dimensions aren't presented as religious dogma at all, but rather as an intriguing framework for understanding our human potential. Now, what's really interesting here is how perfectly these steps categorize our emotional evolution. The sixth dimension aligns directly with liking and basic physical life energy. But when you benefit others, triggering that fun we defined earlier, you generate seventh dimensional quantum energy. As that benefit spreads and you step up to lead those people, you experience joy, generating higher density eighth dimensional energy. Finally, when you become a truly respected societal leader, you achieve true happiness, creating the ultimate ninth dimensional quantum energy. It's like a ladder. Number 9. This ninth dimension is the absolute pinnacle in this framework. The text emphasizes that this high-density happiness energy must originate from our societal leaders and entrepreneurs. The argument is pretty bold. Without this ninth dimensional energy being produced right at the top, society basically becomes chaotic and world peace remains totally out of reach.
Section 5. Conditions for True Business, the Macro Application. Time to bring these high-level metaphysical concepts directly down to modern commerce. The source clearly differentiates between two concepts we honestly mix up all the time: an enterprise versus a true business. An enterprise is stuck down in a lower dimension. It's focused on basic growth, managing resources, and, just accumulating money. But a true business? That serves a much higher purpose. It evolves beyond mere wealth accumulation to focus on social welfare, true education, and fostering true culture. To generate that ninth dimensional happiness energy we were just talking about, a leader has to build a true business resting on 3 pillars. They have to implement comprehensive social welfare, provide true education to the public to elevate their understanding, and cultivate a genuine, uplifting culture within society. When an enterprise attempts to just keep growing purely for the sake of money, it stagnates, it fails, or it just gets forced into sterile corporate mergers. But by embracing these 3 pillars, it actually transcends. So, the crucial point is captured perfectly right here. Corporate happiness is achieved only when respected by the people. Money alone absolutely cannot buy ultimate fulfillment or ninth dimensional energy. Leaders only reach that peak state of happiness when their actions through welfare, education, and culture earn the genuine respect and admiration of the public. However, there is a critical roadblock. The source notes that modern society struggles to reach this dimension because we currently lack the true spiritual and philosophical leaders needed to actually guide our entrepreneurs. Think about it. We have plenty of intellectuals, plenty of fortune tellers, but we lack guides who have trained to understand this energetic ascension. Without them to advise our corporate leaders and, looping back to the beginning, to help them find philosophically aligned partners in marriage, businesses just fail to evolve into true culturally beneficial entities. So we've journeyed from the intimate challenges of modern dating all the way to the metaphysical requirements for ultimate corporate leadership. The framework suggests that every single interaction, from your partner to your employees, is an opportunity to elevate your energetic output from mere survival up to profound societal happiness. So I want to leave you with a thought directly inspired by today's source text. Look at your own actions, your relationships, and your work. What dimension of energy are you creating today?